a kid a Chromebook,
their teachers will love the digital classroom that provides a 21st century learning environment.
My favorite thing is classroom because we get to do all of our assignments in classroom, and I think that's fun.
If you have papers in your desk, you could easily just go around losing them. But with a Chromebook, you could go to Drive, you could go to Classroom, and you could pick up all your assignments with a snap of a finger.
if you give a kid a Chromebook,
they're sure to improve their keyboarding skills.
When middle school students were asked whether they preferred using Chromebooks to learn typing or elementary typing programs, they said,
I think that you can actually have the experience of teaching yourself instead of having the website, because the website takes too long and you're so anxious to go faster that you just want to learn by yourself. So I prefer the Chromebooks.
Okay, so Mavis Beacon was great for the year that I got to use it, but I went over the summer and I came back the next year and I had no idea how to type. I had slowed down tremendously. But with the Chromebooks, I've done it so many times and it's just natural, and I'll come back next summer and after the summer and I'll just be able to type just as well as I did before I left. It's so important to learn how to type because in this age it's such an important skill to have and it's so transferable, and Chromebooks are so good to learn how to type because you quickly build up that muscle memory when you're repeatedly using them.
Give a kid a Chromebook.
For sure, do not stop writing.
I like to write because it makes it easier to express yourself on paper, not just through words. And the Chromebooks make it a lot easier to write because you have the world at your fingertips. If you need to look something up, you can look it up and it's right there. You can just type whatever you need to.
And the Chromebooks make it so much easier for kids to write because it's so easy to fix mistakes. It's easy for them to write and it makes them want to write more. And they're writing a lot more now.
if you give a kid a Chromebook,
You can go on field trips around the world.
Today we are going to be interviewing a doctor that is going to teach us about the Civil War time period and where it's located from a perspective of that time period. We are talking to him through Skype.
I'm most excited to get another perspective from a different state.
What I'm working on is the tundra. I'm supposed to write sometimes what lives there or maybe what can happen there. One thing I wrote was that if glaciers melted, the world would be a very wet place.
if you give a kid a Chromebook,
They're sure to work together.
We are making a script for a robot. And after we record our voices for the script, we are going to make a picture of the robot.
So currently we're working on a infomercial. They asked me, can we write an essay together because we write a bunch of essays, and I said, okay, let's try it, because with Google Classroom and Docs, they're able to share and collaborate. They started sounding like commercials naturally, so we started looking down that avenue and we found Powtoons, the website, and we decided to try it out with the kids. So right now, they've written their essays, they've turned them into scripts, they've talked about visuals and captions, and it's really, the end goal is learning to persuade an audience to buy their product.
I feel like they've become better problem solvers, which makes a huge difference, rather than the it's not working. They actually kind of sit there and try to take some time or ask their classmates. I've noticed a lot more collaboration, hey, I saw that you got this, how did you get to that? And that's been such a nice change this year.
Awesome. If you give a kid a Chromebook,
They're sure to be more creative.
Science and social studies, instead of having a textbook and they're taking notes, they can have Classroom Google. We can give them a multiple variety of resources through different modes, such as movies, primary sources, articles, and so they can construct their own understanding of different concepts.
So I'm working on writing some facts about a tropical rainforest, and I said that some tropical rainforests get 400 inches of rain.
When it really hits home is when kids start to have fun and be creative with it. And you see kids really having fun with an assignment where you've given them a lot of parameters and they can kind of make connections and add in content, instead of just adding a text comment on something, they link a video.
If you give a kid a Chromebook,
they're sure to be more engaged in learning.
So one thing I would say is the level, and I think most of you would agree with this, is that the level of engagement from students has been a lot better simply because they're able to get directly to the task at hand. I can put the task on the website. They can easily then download whatever that task may be onto their Google Drives, and then within just minutes they're already working together on the exact same doc, and they're noticing each other writing, and they're helping each other out, and it's really easy to hold them all accountable at the same time, whereas I was never able to do that without the docs, without the computers. Like when we would go to the computer lab, for one reason or another, a lot of my students seemed to think that was like time off.
Yes.
Like they were leaving the classroom, so they were on a field trip, and they really didn't have to do anything that they were expected to do in the computer lab. It was just a time to surf the web. And they're not like that with the Chromebooks.
Right, because they're still in the classroom.
Yeah, and so the same rules apply, and the expectations are the same. So
I've never really seen kids be engaged at all in school as much as they have with Chromebooks, because it almost makes learning like a game. Because they get to use a computer. Some people, some kids we've asked what's their favorite part, and they say it's the fact that it's a Chromebook.
If you give a kid a Chromebook,
you give them a chance to make a difference.
I'm Carly Kennedy, and our project was help change the world. So we had to create either a product or an idea that would solve a problem in our world today, and create a business around that project.
So the develop an innovative idea to improve the world has kind of been a work in progress the last 2 years. We had decided, hey, if the kids have to be able to stand in front of people and give a prepared presentation, if they need to research, if they need to be able to offer reasoning, what could we have them do that would be all-encompassing? And so this was what we kind of decided on is, they need to be good student citizens, they need to be part of the world that they exist.
So that's always on our mind. Anyway, how can the kids make the world better? So that's kind of where we went, well, yes, how could they make the world better?
Also, I think especially this year, we've kind of developed this mission that if it doesn't exist in the real world, it shouldn't exist in our classroom. We thought, why should we be teaching in a vacuum? Why not do something that's actually part of the real world? Let's bring in some real world professionals to be able to kind of let us know how we're doing with that.
if you give a kid a Chromebook,
you spark
curiosity,
inspire,
inquiry,
support,
collaboration,
promote,
problem solving. When you give a kid a Chromebook, you
open
a window to the world.
If you give a kid a Chromebook. Okay.
You'll never have the excuse that my dog ate my homework.
I was saving a drowning polar bear. He was trying to get a fish. And then I saved him. Counted the cost.
Should I talk to the camera?